Okay, this video is a serious one. In Australia at the moment there is a massive rental crisis. There is not enough rentals and it's forcing lots of people from all walks of life to become homeless. Especially since COVID, it's a really, really big problem. And in my local area where I live, there's a campground, and there's been some people living there in tents, in a caravan, living conditions that are really, like, we're in the middle of winter here in Australia, and living conditions that are just horrible. Like, so the campground has been a campground stop-off point for a very long time. Now, not all, but some residents of my area are not happy about this and have actually gone to the council and want these people moved on. Unfortunately, there's just nowhere for them to go. There's no housing. There's just really no option. And I think it's a disgrace, really, because these people aren't living in the lap of luxury and they're not hurting anyone. They just have nowhere to go and they've fallen on hard times, like we all have. I mean, our rental was sold and we were lucky enough to get another one, but anyone could be in this situation. So this video is just where I'm going down. I've already met some of the people, and I'm, with their permission, I'm going down and I just want to make a little video and put faces to the people who are going through this crisis, because I think it's really important. So I guess I'll start with your name and how you became homeless.
Hi, I'm Tim Ferrari. How I become homeless is because I was living in a shared council house. Council didn't want me staying there, so there was a threat that the person living in the house would lose their cleaner. So I decided to leave, so I started living in the car. That was some 2.5 years ago. Only recently, in the last month and a bit, I've stayed here at the Huntley Lions Park. I enjoy it here. The people here are good. We don't really bother anyone who comes to visit the park. And yeah, we all help one another out in our time of need. And yeah.
Now, it's my understanding you work, don't you?
Yeah, I work.
So isn't that just that just doesn't fit the mold at all? Like, I mean,
No, it doesn't.
It's sort of a little bit baffling to think that you work but you still can't find a home,
Well,
and you're living in your
my
car.
situation is that I actually owned a few properties, but through to divorce many years ago, I haven't since been able to get my own place as such because I've never rented.
Right.
And so because I haven't got any rental references, I go to apply. I got a lot of money behind me when I go to apply for them, but because of the amount of people going for the rental properties, I'm out of luck.
There's like 50 people now to like one property. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, one can do a paper format application, which I have to do because when you do it online, if you don't tick the appropriate boxes online, your application does not get submitted.
Right.
So that's the problem with that.
Yep.
So I have no real rental history
Yes.
to put forward for me to get a rental property.
So what do you want the other residents of Huntley and the Bendigo Council, what do you want them to know and what do you want from them? The ones that are
Well,
sort
initially, you never ever judge a book by its cover.
Very true.
There were some riffraff people in here, they're since gone. and the people are good in here at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
You just want to be left alone because
Yeah.
where else are you going to go?
well, ultimately, there is no answer for the hierarchy of the town to put us anywhere, because we're always put in the too hard basket.
Do you
There's never a solution to
No.
the homeless problem.
do you think people are all up in arms about this because they don't want to see it? It's too confronting. Because
That's the easiest thing to do, to put us out. and
So they
turn
don't
a-
have to
and
worry
turn
about
a
it.
blind eye
yep,
to the problem.
definitely. But it's not just here. Like it's
That's right.
it's all over Australia. There's families living in tents because
Yeah,
they can't get a
living in
rental,
cars.
cars. So this is just our community.
Yeah.
And so this is you sleep in your car over there.
No, I sleep in my tent.
You sleep in your tent,
Set up.
right?
Again, I became homeless in November last year when the house that we were renting, the owner wanted it back for his family, and we just cannot get a rental since then. So we've been homeless now here since the 2nd of January, but we've been homeless since about the 4th of November.
And you've had like many jobs in the past, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I've always worked.
Yep, that's exactly
Worked
right.
for 35 plus years.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it's but you still can't. And you've got a rental history, but you
Yep.
can't get a rental.
No, it's because there's 400 rentals available and about 14,000 people going for them.
Right. So
It doesn't matter what I do.
no.
But there's people from Melbourne that are coming up offering above
Yep.
the asking price for the rental per week. You can't.
And since COVID, they're coming to the regional areas.
Yeah, because it's safer.
Yeah, and because we didn't get locked down as much, and
No,
they
exactly.
yeah.
And they're offering 6 months in advance rent. Like
Oh
that.
God, no one. I don't think anyone can compete with that.
No.
Well, if you can show us around and
Yep, stop.
show us. So, who's staying here?
There's 2 young kids staying here,
Yep.
and they're not here at the moment. They've gone into town because they sort of sleep in and spend most of their days in town.
Yep.
And yeah, that's those 2.
And is that a shower? No.
No, it's actually Rob's, and it's for when you kill a live animal,
Yeah.
like a sheep or something. You then skin it and do everything to it, and then you put it in there, and technically all the blood just drips out,
Oh wow.
and it will stay there in there, fly free for about 3 months,
Really?
and dries the meat out so you can use it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Bloody-
personally, I'd like a fridge, but
But you have to. So now, is this where you used to stay?
yeah, this is our original tent,
Right.
and gazebo, and now Tim's in there. When we lived off the caravan, so that's my original tent behind it,
Right.
which has been destroyed by the wind up here. But
Yeah, I can. Oh, there's a little kitty cat.
Kit Kat.
So how do you go with storing food? I guess that's one of my
Well, we can't store food. You've got to sort of buy it daily.
And lots
Keep
of-
meat fresh.
no and tin stuff. You just
Well, you live on tin stuff, but you can only eat
tin.
so much
I
tin
know
stuff.
tin stuff can
Fresh,
be.
but not-
You can't. It after I think 3 days on it. I think you'd be done.
Well, most you can get is spaghetti. You can't live on spaghetti for too long because that's just
And so what about like? What do you do for milk? Do you do like powdered milk or
Powdered
long
milk.
life, or can you keep long life?
Oh, long life to a certain extent. but
Yeah.
After a couple of days, once it starts to get that smell to it,
You can't. Yeah, you
So we
can't.
use a lot of powdered milk, which is fine. You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, yeah. And in the summer, God, like, because it's sweltering hot, because it gets to like, in our summers, like 40 plus
Oh,
degrees.
it's horrible out here.
And
There's no shade.
no, and what about the food? Like, is that
Oh,
hard
you
to?
can't keep anything.
No.
You can't. We went through all summer not eating margarine because every time you bought a tub of
It'd
margarine, next morning it'd be just
Water.
oil.
Oh. So, and
Cheese, can't keep cheese.
yeah, that would just be horrible in
And
this.
eggs in their own shell.
So, what about so overnight time? Like, typically, what things how do you cook them, and what do you eat for tea and
When I was in the tent, I only had a gas cooker.
right?
Cook a lot of noodles, chicken
Just-
fillets,
So you just have to take what you can get,
yeah, well, exactly. So we have to spend money up there. Which
And
is
half
good,
of-
keeps it in Huntly, but
but half of your like pension or whatever would go
the food. food.
on the food.
Yeah.
So, and it's not much. Like it's below the poverty line. What our
Yeah, it is.
what our
It hasn't gone up for like 25 years.
no, what our Centrelink what we get is definitely below the poverty
Oh
line.
yeah, for sure.
For-
You can't live on it. You can't live on it and pay rent on it.
No, definitely
No.
not. So I guess what do you want the residents of Huntley, because the residents have made a Save the Lions Park page of a campground that's always been a campground, and now they've gone to the council and now they are wanting to make it so no one can camp here, and
Yeah.
you know, obviously push you guys out to God knows where. What do you want? Now, not all residents are like that. Some are good.
No. Some are lovely, like yourself, and there's a lot of them now that have come in and
Yep,
just come in for a chat, come
Yep.
in for a coffee.
yep. That's
Yeah.
great.
We're not going to bite them.
No. So what do you want the people, the residents to know, like the ones that have all these ideas about a homeless person? Do you think that they just can't face it? It's just too hard?
They don't want to face it. They don't want to see it.
And
They
what
don't know what to do.
and what do you guys want from the council? Like, do you just want...
To be left alone.
Yep,
To be able to be here because we've got nowhere else to go.
yep.
And
All right, so this is where you're staying.
Yeah.
With your son
yeah, 25-year-old son and,
Right.
and the big horse.
and the big horse dog that's
Yes.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what is this? This is just
This was just a spare tent we had. There was a lady who came down and was a bit scared to be out here by herself, so
Yep,
she wanted to put a tent right in front of my.
yeah.
But she then didn't last very long. The females don't last very long out here. Normally.
No, because it's...
And yeah, because it's come on. There's no
It's-
electricity. There's no shower.
And it's freezing.
It's freezing. I mean, I can't wash clothes. In summer
Yeah.
it was okay because I could wash them here
And hang 'em.
and then hang them up, and they would be dry.
Yeah.
But winter you can't get clothes dry.
No.
So I either have to spend a fortune at the local laundry.
I was gonna say, is that like it's not cheap?
Well, for Jake and I to do it, we do it our washing every fortnight because
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
do it any other time. And it probably costs us about $80 to do a washing.
Shit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I've got a friend down in White Hills, and she's got my dryer. So I got my dryer out of storage. she's
So
got
you
my
have all
dryer.
these things, you just can't use them.
No, dry here, but look a bit silly.
Yeah.
And council might sort of get, oh, you got dry sitting out in the open.
Well, I've got all the things, I just don't have 4 walls to put it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've got a whole storage unit full of couches and fridges and tables and beds.
You just, and obviously you have to pay to store that.
Yeah.
So then that's another...
$5 a month.
Oh God, so it's
Yeah.
another cost. Plus your washing, plus the ridiculous price of
Yeah.
food, because that's just like a mini IGA type
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's in town and you've still got to get in there and without public transport. I mean, without car. You've got to use public transport.
Exactly.
Even though shower a couple of days, you don't want to go on public transport.
No, well,
You don't shower in a can so much.
no. So basically, like, do you go to friends' houses to have a shower?
Yeah, I'll go down to White Hills and have a shower at my friend's place.
Yep.
And or I'll go to my other friend's place up in Raywood and have a shower.
Oh,
out
that's
there, 'cause
good.
He lives at the club out there.
Yep.
Other than that,
Just
just shower in a can.
when you can, or dry shampoo. That's
Dry shampoo? Yeah, your hair's worse. My hair
Oh.
to the point of almost being dreadlocks. So
Mine-
I really need to wash my hair.
I know,
Yeah,
and
just a small short
I was
toilet
about
there.
to have. So that's that's just toilets, isn't it?
2 toilets. They've got a hand dryer, so you can, if you can get your head underneath the tap,
You can wash,
you can wash your hair.
but
And some of it was fine. They
But
go,
in
"Oh,
the
make you shower
freezing-
there all the time."
in the freezing cold, I mean, to get up, because as women after having children, you can't really go a night without having to go to the toilet
5 times.
through the middle of the night. So you're having to run to the toilet.
You have to come out here, put your slippers on, if you've got time. Otherwise, it's bare feet, run across the mud, and then run across to the toilet. Now, often there is caravans and people around here.
Yeah,
Now, if you really need to go, that whole cross-legged run is really uncomfortable.
and
And yeah, once you get there, it's freezing cold.
so also for women, especially that are staying here, like sanitary, is there places for sanitary products?
Yeah, there is. There's a bin in there. Yeah,
But it's-
like that. But
It's
yeah.
still not. It's not.
It's not your own toilet in your own. No. Having your own house, you don't realise how much you're missing.
No.
Like a shower inside,
And
a warmth,
Oh,
washing machine, a dryer, a
Because-
toilet that's inside. You don't have to leave the warmth of, not that it's, it's pretty cold now because it's a tin can, but to come outside in the freezing cold, go to the toilet, then go back into bed. Your bed's already damp and wet.
Of course.
Not wet, but damp and cold.
But especially in the tents, like, because the moisture gets in.
Yeah.
So
we're lucky we've got a caravan.
yeah.
If we didn't have that, we'd still be in a tent.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't even close.
Oh God.
Because tents aren't made to withstand a dog.
No.
Not a big dog.
Yeah.
And he's just ran through the fly wire. And then the wind out here, we call it the Huntley Hurricane, has ripped the flies on all the tents. You can see on the side here, it's all ripped. The outside fly on that one's ripped, the one on the other side's all ripped. It's just, the wind out here is horrendous.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and especially if you're straight off the paddocks,
No.
it's freezing.
And
it's foggy all the time.
And it's not the bloody, I think what the residents, the ones that really are opposed to you guys being here, they think, and this is not my words, but they think, well, from what I can see, they think that you're taking advantage. And this is the situation
I am taking advantage. I'm in a tent.
Exactly.
You're in a house.
Exactly.
You've got air conditioning, you've got heating, and you've got you've got
everything.
washing machines and dryers and the kitchen inside.
Yep.
If we want to do that, we've got to stand out in this really cold, well, before I had that, the gazebo tent, which is our kitchen tent.
Yep.
In the freezing cold. And when it's pissing down rain, no.
Exactly. And it's all muddy.
There's mud everywhere, and you can only sweep the floor so much.
And that's what, I think that's what the residents need to see is no one's taking advantage of anything because this is a last resort.
I would pay rent to stay here. I would pay for electricity. I would pay for water. I would pay for everything if they would just let me stay here.
Yeah.
You don't have the option. They don't give
So
you the option
so
to
you
pay for
you would
anything.
stay in the tent and pay
Yeah.
if they would give you the means to do so.
Exactly.
And I think that that's the misconception is like this is not the lap of luxury and no one's taking advantage
It's not
of
paradise.
anyone. No. I mean
it's beautiful and it's lovely and you've got trees and you've got
but I
the
mean
road's right there. And it's 24/7
Yeah,
constant.
yeah.
Trucks all night. And then the locals go past with the horn at 2 o'clock in the morning. And not just once, it's from about down there all the way up there, and the horn blaring.
Yep.
Now you're trying to sleep, and as it is, you hear everything, and it's not them.
Some
and
people
the
are just
the abuse we get coming out of the cars. Get a home, you homeless bum. Come and say it to my face, because seriously, you want to judge me because I'm living out here in a tent? They don't know. I could just be a traveller on the way through, but they're just judging us because of what the public has said in Huntley, the beautiful locals of Huntley.
on the page.
On all these pages, everything's saying that we are here, we're a nuisance, we're living here, freeloading. It's like, mate, it's freeloading, please.
Yeah.
Freeload with me.
See, that's the thing. I think I don't understand what, like, I know the reason why they're saying it because they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But I think
Exactly.
nothing. That rental can get sold from under you any moment.
Yeah, and once that happens, and you can't get another one, what do you do?
Exactly. It never used to be like as so competitive.
Not as bad as this. I've never ever.
No.
I've rented. I've owned my own house, but I've also rented for a long time, and I've never had issues getting a rental ever.
But
Never
now, as you said, because of the COVID and people are coming down from Melbourne, etc.
It's out of our league.
It's out of your
our-
control
we can't-
as well.
We can't do it. I mean, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be stranded up here. I've got no car. I'm lucky. We're lucky that the bus services here is amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's just up there, or there's another stop down there, and it lets us off same place, and we can come and go into town when we need to, go down to Epsom, places like that. But it's certainly not something I choose for myself.
Of course you
And
wouldn't.
Really, in my life, I've worked all my life.
And you used to
Always
work
had
at
rentals.
you used to work for Centrelink.
Yep.
And that's the thing as well. I think a lot of and obviously I'm in support of you guys, so that's my opinion. I think a lot of people who judge, like our family's a low income family and we get Centrelink support. My husband works, but we're still low income.
Exactly. I don't want to be on Centrelink. I've never been on Centrelink ever. I've never not had a job. But
What other choice do you have now?
When I lost my job during COVID, right in October of COVID,
Oh gosh.
and I couldn't get another job because there is no work,
Exactly.
because no one was hiring. So I had to go onto Centrelink, which is, even though I worked there for 5 years, I didn't want to loan myself to going onto it. But, you know, you do what you have to do to survive.
Of course you
Otherwise,
do.
You know, how do you eat?
Well, I bet you wouldn't have imagined that this would be your life
Never.
5 years ago.
Never. I
So,
would never ever imagined that my life would take a turn for the worse like this.
yeah,
And I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy.
yeah,
Because it's
Yeah.
just shit.
yeah.
It's cold. And when it rains, it
Oh,
started. Big dog, big paws, big muddy.
God.
And then here it floods, all here.
And I was about to say, look at these tents. Like, they would just be full of wet,
Yep.
muddy ground underneath because they don't really have a... They're just sitting on the grass there, aren't they?
And we had so much rain here, you can see how much clover.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to get my own mower. I'm going to come and mow it, but no, it's just...
And you have a mower in storage, but you can't... You
Yeah.
have everything. You have everything for a house, but
Oh,
you just
exactly.
kill it.
Since June, when was it? November last year is when we had to leave. So since June before that, we knew this was going to happen. I've been looking for houses since then and applying. Now, the prices of houses back in June last year for a 4-bedroom house up here was only around $350.
Wow.
Now it's up around $500
Oh, yeah, I know.
for a 4-bedroom house in Hutley.
And they're not big houses.
Now, the prices of houses back in June last year for a 4-bedroom house up here was only around...
$380. So it
I
is.
was paying $460 in Goins Road for a 5-bedroom house.
Really?
With a big backyard and, you know,
And how long were you there for?
5 years.
Now, what did you say?
Well, as far as I know, and we've looked into this a bit, is that Bendigo Council are going to be the first council in Australia to actually kick out homeless people without giving them anywhere else to go.
And nowhere to go. And
Nowhere to
they've got no other accommodation. And now
They haven't even offered to come down here and help.
the email that I got back saying that Haven was helping. Now have
Haven
they?
have done nothing. Haven were coming out here twice a week when we had more people.
Yep.
As soon as the others nicked off after the January 29th council meeting saying they were going to kick us out of here, haven't seen them since.
Right.
Haven't helped us, haven't done anything. Will
Right.
not helped us at all.
Right.
We're still homeless.
Yeah.
I mean, how homeless do you have to be?
Well, I don't really think that you it couldn't really get much worse than
No,
this.
no.
Thank you for talking with me. I
No,
really
my pleasure.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for
Thank
taking the
you.
time.
So you had like a government job.
I was the first female in Australia to train in Border Force, what I used to call baby Border Force.
Wow.
I drafted, from the original drafted passage of the MTSA in 2004, and I was trained just to work on the airport,
Yep.
just as a Group 4 security on the screening at Group 4. So I was trained to do that. But then I knew this guy who knew this guy, and I ended up working in what was termed as an Australian Major Hazard Facility.
Uh,
And that's how I ended up as the first woman in Australia to train in the MTSA, which is what they use now in the Border Force and
Wow.
customs and everything. And as I say, I drafted the laws there for the international company I was working for.
So I think that there's a lot of misconception about homeless people. They've never worked. They've never had housing. It's definitely a misconception.
Well, I was 15 when I was first homeless at 15. And I managed to pull myself up by my bootstraps, as they like to say, to be the first woman in Australia to train on the Border Force.
Right.
And actually draft some of the laws now. And our quarantine and our customs still use those to today. And I was working internationally in that for Caltex and
Wow.
I was the first woman in Australia to do that. I was 24 at the time.
And now
Now I live.
you live
over
here. So can you give us a little look around of where you stay, if that's okay? You don't have to. I don't want
Welcome
to.
to my dome.
I don't want to. I definitely don't want to invade in your privacy. So you just show me whatever you feel comfortable with. Well, that's true. Oh wow.
To my broken door.
Oh
tent.
my
The
goodness.
kind government provided that tent for me.
Oh, did they?
Yes, that was their answer to disabled pensioners qualified.
Yeah, 'cause you're
full-time
on-
carer for 15 years. So they gave me the tent.
God.
So
Well, and I mean, so obviously the wind is getting in and out of there. It must be absolutely freezing. I'm surprised that you don't have pneumonia.
I've had it several times.
Oh,
So it's a homeless man's tent anyway, and that was one I had. So that's it.
Right, and so no one's, this is all your area?
Yeah.
Right, and then I did meet the guy that
Guy down there.
stays over there, but as I was just saying before to Leanne, like, you're propped on grass, so the amount of like moisture like that would just be getting through, like, but it's just, this is just
because I can't look after myself. This is a fucking place. 15 years I've been waiting for a carer.
because so you need a carer to help. So you are at risk of, I mean, you could die out here. Definitely. I mean, I think anyone that has any sort of health conditions living in these in the elements is very serious. And I think that what they're trying to do is push people out, like you're not living in the lap of luxury. So I think it's very confusing. Like, you're not asking for anything but just to stay put because you have nowhere else to go. Is that fair? I just think it's really beyond belief that people think that this is taking advantage of what?
So I went to Mad Cow and had a shower there for the first time in 6 months.
Oh God. And so what about you walk up to the local IGA to do your shopping, and what about washing your clothes? Because it's very expensive, Leanne said.
The money.
So I guess if you can take away anything from this video, it's to please have some compassion. The bottom line is these people don't want to move in and call this park their home, but they want to be able to stay there until accommodation becomes available, and at the moment it's not. They want to be able to stay on the patch of dirt until they have somewhere to go, because they have nowhere to go. They're not wanting to move in and take over the park, but for the moment they want to be able to live there until they have a house, because that's the ultimate goal. They want a house. So, yeah.